Now you'll see that we have all four sides in place. The next part is to put the small triangles around the sides. Now the reason why we only sew from dot to dot is to give you this flexibility of an open seam to insert a Y piece. This is where it's really important again that you just sew from dot to dot. So you'll need to pull those center seams out to the right hand side to get them out of the way to enable you to put the pin through the dots. And again, sew from dot to dot and put all four small triangles on each side. Alright, so now that those four small side triangles are in place, it's time to press. So let's turn our block over and we'll show you how to press to get a really nice flat finish. So let's take a look at this corner over here. So what we're going to do is push the seam for the triangle out and then fold the chambray triangle up over that, and then push this seam coming down towards the center block. Push the chambray of this part flat so that the seams sit over those side squares, and the same on this side here. We'll push that little seam flat down over the gold so that that's sitting nice and flat, and continue that process all the way around. And when you've done that, turn the block over, give it a quick spray with some Best Press or some spray starch, and just make sure everything's sitting nice and flat and that you've got no puckers or little folds in any of the seams. So the last part of our block is inserting the corners. Now you'll see with these corners that it's actually 3 different seams that we're going to sew because it turns in a curve. When you have actually placed this onto the block, you'll see on the left hand side the block will line up on the outside. I want you to sew from the outside of the block, not the pinpoint, but sew to the pinpoint on the right hand side, making sure that the chambray seams are over to the right, and then stop. The center part of this seam, you will need to make sure that you pull the chambray seams over and out of the way on both sides, because you are only sewing from dot to dot. So line those up and pin, and then sew the middle section into place. The right hand side of this seam, again, you will need to pull the seams out of the way on the left and line up the dots. And on the right hand side, you can sew right out through the seam. Now this is important because when you have all 4 seams in place, or 4 sides in place, sorry, you'll then see that it's secured here around the edges, which mean when you come to sew your sashing in, none of the fabric is going to get caught or go the wrong way. It's going to help it to sit flatter and squarer. I hope you enjoy making your blocks.